What's good, y'all? We're back again with another one. What's up? What's up? Hope everyone's having a good night. So, we're back again with another gem here. Going to talk about the CFPB and how that helps with the credit dispute process, the credit repair process, the series that I've been, you know, discussing, breaking it up into different phases so it's easier to understand and digest for you guys out there that are looking to transform your financial situation. So before I proceed further, my name is Philip Gotti. I'm a credit repair specialist. Help a lot of people fix their credit, go from 500s to 700s. um, you know Wanted to share some of the gems that I use for my clients and what I've used for myself to help me get to the point that I am today. So I want to talk about the CFPB. This is like, one of the channels that you use when it comes to disputing any information on your credit report, specifically negative information that is having adverse impact to your overall financial health. Now, when you go on this website, you're able to submit a complaint about any financial product or service, but the ones that we use is the one for credit. I mean, the ones for, collections or inquiries. If you see, it says each week we send about 25,000 complaints about financial products and services to companies for response. If another agency would be better able to assist, we'll send it to them and let you know. So CFPB is actually an agency of the government. I believe it started back in after the 2008 financial collapse that happened with the housing crisis. CFPB was pretty much an agency that was birthed out of that to help consumers get some sort of relief. People who lost a lot of their homes were able to go to this agency and file complaints against the banks, and were able to get settlements from class action lawsuits. And the same thing continues to happen today, with all these credit reporting agencies like, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. There was recently a data breach back in 2019 with Equifax and TransUnion, and a lot of people's sensitive information got leaked in the dark web. And because of that, people were able to open up credit cards under people's name and, made crazy purchases, and, a lot of defaults on people's on those credit cards, and people pretty much had damaged credit. And now, you're a victim of identity theft. So when it comes to you getting a house, getting anything like a car, you're not able to, because lenders look at your credit profile and they notice you have so many inquiries and so many negative accounts. You're not trustworthy. So because of that, you're going to get denied a loan. You're going to get denied a mortgage. You're going to be pretty much stuck. You're going to be stranded. And a lot of times when you have bad credit, everything else becomes more expensive. When borrowing, the interest rates are a lot higher. So you're not able to get the best, deal in any situation, because lenders are always trying to cut, their losses. So if they're going to extend any loan to you or any product, they want to make sure that they get a lot up front. And that's just the reality. That's just the way the system works. So the CFPB, when going on this platform, first you want to pull your credit report and highlight any negative account that you have, and also highlight any inaccuracy that you notice. So the easy way to do this is go on annualcreditreport.com. You can pull all three bureaus. Sometimes they're going to give you a PDF of these reports. Sometimes it's gonna say they could only mail it to your address. So when you have the physical, documents in front of you, you want to highlight, for example, an account like a collection. If you notice that collection is reporting on all three bureaus, you want to find out if all the information matches across the reports. So if you're looking at the name of the account from one to the other, if there's a if it's under a slightly different name, you want to highlight that. Then you want to go down to the next detail, which is like the account number. And you want to make sure the account number matches across the board. So if you see the account number is off by a digit, or some of the numbers are omitted, like you only see the last 4 digits or the first 4 digits and you don't see the rest, you want to highlight that as well. And you want to keep going down the categories of the account itself. So if you notice the price of the balance of the account is off, like it's saying on this collection you owe $1,000, but on this same account on a different report it says you owe $800. That's an error. You want to highlight that and make sure you're keeping track of all these errors, because ultimately what you're going to do is write a letter stating that there's so many errors on the accounts that is claiming that you have a debt that you have to pay, but none of the information is consistent. And because there's so many inconsistencies, they have to correct that or they have to delete it. So if you're someone who doesn't have the money to pay off a debt, and the debt collector is saying, is blowing you up, telling you like, hey, you have these many days, or to make this payment, or we're gonna threaten you with whatever, you want to make sure you pull your credit report, highlight all the inaccuracies and all the errors and inconsistencies on this account, go to the CFPB website, submit a complaint, and then in that letter explain to them what's going on. Like, hey, this debt collector has been hounding me for this amount, but when I'm looking at my credit report, the amount doesn't match what they're asking for. And because of that, that is a violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. They're treating you unfairly. Okay, like they're violating your rights. And because they have not corrected this information, you are requesting the complete deletion of the collection, which is the power you have. It's almost as if, like, if you were accused of a crime and the evidence brought against you just doesn't make any sense. Like in movies, you ever notice in movies how like someone might commit a crime and they collect all the DNA evidence and they're in court, and next thing you know, they're analyzing what's going on, and they're like, well, the fingerprints don't match, or the person's footprint or whatever is not inconsistent with the timeline, and because of that technicality is the reason why someone gets freed, or the case gets dismissed, because they're like, the evidence against the person doesn't match up, and because of that the person can't be found responsible for whatever accusation that they're giving to them. So this is pretty much what you want to do. This website right here has saved a lot of people money, and you don't have to pay all these debts that they're saying you owe, because there's something called procedure. And if these companies are violating the proper procedure on reporting, then you can ultimately have this stuff removed, right? It's just the system that we're in. In this system, you have to be accurate and consistent in what you do and how you run business. And if you're not doing any of these things, you can easily fix your credit. I use this platform so many times, like with disputing, student loans, collections, repossessions. And it wasn't whether or not the repossession was, something that I was responsible for, but it was how it was being reported, how the accounting was being reported. So if a car gets repossessed and the balance on the repossession says 8,000, but you're looking at your credit report and it's saying 9,000, okay, like how do you know which number is accurate? Like how do you know how much you pay? And say in a let's think about it, right? If they're saying on a piece of paper you owe 9,000, but on your credit report it's saying something more. Okay, if you pay that 9,000 and that information doesn't get deleted or removed, and it's still saying you owe, the additional three, you're going to feel kind of like violated. You're going to be like, hey, like I paid all this money that cost me, a lot of toil and sweat, but like this information is still on my credit. Like, why won't you guys remove it? And they're like, well, technically, like, the amount you paid wasn't the exact amount because like what they're seeing on their end says this, but you got this other information that might have been misleading. So like, we're sorry, you just have to pay the additional amount and then they're going to remove that thing, It's kind of like they're playing a game on you. It's like, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, that debt gets sold to a third party, and that third party now has that information, and now they're asking you for more money. And it's almost like people from all different angles are asking you for money, and you just don't know where it ends. So this CFPB, they're not your lawyer. It's not like you're going to submit a complaint and, they're going to be your legal aid and they're going to take care of it. But what it ultimately does is it allows those companies that you're dealing with know that you're serious about your dispute, that you're not just like having this, back and forth communication with them. This communication is being observed by an objective third party. So the CFPB is like the government. So if I'm sending, Bank of America a dispute and Bank of America is responding to me saying like, hey, we've done the investigation. We're no longer reviewing any further information, that's one thing. But when you get the CFPB involved and you send that dispute through them and they send it to Bank of America now has to respond to the CFPB. And once they look at that, the CFPB notices that Bank of America is being very, their response is kind of frivolous. It's like, okay, like you guys have to, give this person like a realistic like response to what's going on, because Bank of America has been sued multiple times by the CFPB, so they can't just like willy-nilly respond with anything crazy. So definitely want to use the CFPB. I want you guys to comment credit on this video because I can help you fix your credit. I can get you from having negative credit, poor credit, terrible credit, to having great credit. I've done it multiple times. I continue to do it. It's very easy. You can do this yourself. You don't need me to do it for you. But if you're somebody who's looking to free up your time, or to buy back your time rather than, sending back and forth communication between you and whoever you're doing financial, business with, I got you. I'll be able to take care of that for you, and you can sit back and just watch the results unfold. Okay. So I wanted to do this video tonight, something short and sweet, so you guys will be able to get some value. Comment credit below so you can be able to get a free consultation with me. All right. It's not going to cost you anything for me just to have this conversation with you one-on-one, to understand your situation and to explain to you and even give away some free information on how you're able to fix your credit. What's good, Mike? I see you dropping in. But yeah, just wanted to share this information with y'all, man. Credit is definitely the new capital. Anybody can leverage their credit. Credit is, something we all have. It's just all about working the system to your benefit and understanding how you can leverage it. Not all debt is bad debt. You just have to understand how to play the game. And ultimately, you can use debt to, grow your business, use that to, generate revenue, pay that debt back with that revenue, and keep getting an increase on top of that. And it's almost an endless flow of, money, right? You're doing math at this point. You're understanding addition, subtraction, multiplication. You're just going back and forth and, replenishing or refueling the cycle. And, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to do. If you're not somebody that came from money, but you're somebody with common sense, you understand that this is something very achievable. But if you have bad credit, you're obviously not going to be able to participate in this game. You're going to be on the sideline. You don't want to be on the sideline while everybody else is in the game playing, making threes, and you over there just sitting on the bench. Like, when am I going to be, when am I going to get my opportunity? But you can get that opportunity starting tonight. You know what I'm saying? Comment credit below. You're going to get a link in your bio. You're going to get a link directly to your DM. book a call with me. My calendar is available to you. I have time. We're going to talk. I can help you, give you some free information, some actionable insights on what you can do for yourself while, if you're someone who doesn't have the money right now. I can show you something you could do real quick with Credit Karma to at least remove a collection or two in 72 hours, or 3 days. You do that, that could transform your situation tremendously, and you'll be able to perhaps get yourself some money and be able to, not be drowning in debt. Oh, not be drowning in debt because, you owe, all these collections. All right. So thank you guys for the ones who joined in. Hope you guys got some value tonight from what I shared. Go to the CFPB. They have plenty of resources on there. Just look around, read some of the examples of the complaints that other people have submitted. You can learn a lot. You can see the similarities between your complaints and theirs, and use that information to file a dispute against whatever financial product or service that you're having issues with. Because if other people are getting results, you can get results too. If other people are having, their debts deleted and their credit scores are going up, the same thing can happen to you too. Otherwise, do with this information however you choose. But that's it for tonight, y'all. Hope y'all enjoy. God bless. Peace out and have a good night. Bye.